So have you ever noticed how some stories just won't go away?
Like they pop back up every few years.
Right. Like, hey, remember this? And you're kind of thinking, didn't we deal with this already?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the vibe today. We're doing a deep dive into Rebecca Loos and her claims about an affair with David Beckham.
Oh, wow. Yeah, back when he first went to Real Madrid,
Exactly. And what it means for his marriage to Victoria.
which has obviously lasted quite a while now.
Right. So many of you listening are probably fascinated by celebrity relationships.
Yeah, how they deal with all that pressure and attention.
Exactly. It's hard enough to make a relationship work.
For sure.
Then add in fame and the media, and it's a whole different ballgame.
You really have to wonder how any of them survive it.
Right. So we've got some interesting stuff to work with today.
We do.
Excerpts from a news article about Rebecca Loos's latest interview.
And some background on the Beckhams' relationship.
All from the same article.
Yeah.
So today we want to lay it all out.
Okay.
What exactly is Loos saying now? When did all of this supposedly happen?
Yeah.
How have the Beckhams responded?
Right.
And ultimately, what does this all tell us about celebrity and public image?
Okay, let's jump in.
Let's start with Rebecca Loos.
Okay.
Her recent interview has gotten a lot of attention.
It has. Yeah, the article says she's really doubling down on her claims about the affair with David Beckham.
And she doesn't mince words at all.
Nope.
She's quoted as saying it was a very brave thing to do to go up against them.
Wow.
I have stuck to the truth, she says.
Strong words.
I've never exaggerated. I never lied about a single thing.
That's a pretty bold statement.
It is, especially after all these years.
It is.
So the article goes on to say that back in 2004, when this all first came out, Loos felt like she had been treated unfairly.
Yeah, I can see that.
She wanted Beckham to feel some pain, too.
I guess because he was so focused on his public image.
Right. He had this perfect life.
And she felt like he was living a lie.
So the timeline here is a little fuzzy. But the alleged affair supposedly happened sometime after Beckham moved to Real Madrid in 2003.
Right.
Loos mentions a specific encounter in 2004
Uh-huh.
at a nightclub,
Okay.
which she says led back to his hotel room.
I see.
And get this,
What?
she talks about Beckham's charismatic power.
Oh, yeah. He was quite the heartthrob back then.
Right. And she says he could get what he wanted so easily.
I mean, he was a global superstar.
That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
So Beckham denied her claims,
Uh-huh.
called them ludicrous.
Oh, right. I remember that.
And that just pissed her off even more.
Really?
Yeah, the article says that's what made her decide to keep speaking out.
So it wasn't just about getting back at him.
Maybe not. It seems like she really felt dismissed.
Like he was trying to erase her experience.
Maybe.
It's interesting that she's giving this interview now, though.
It is right.
After all this time, what's her motivation?
Well, the article says she never expected the Beckhams to talk about her in their Netflix documentary.
Oh, the one from last year?
Yeah, she thought maybe Beckham would apologize, though.
After all this time?
She did.
Interesting.
But that obviously didn't happen.
No, they didn't mention her specifically in the documentary.
No.
Yeah.
But they did talk about how those kinds of stories affected their marriage.
Yeah, I remember that David Beckham was really open about how hard it was to deal with those horrible stories.
It was the first time their marriage was really tested like that.
Publicly, at least.
Right.
I mean, think about it. They were this golden couple.
Right.
Everything seemed perfect.
And then suddenly they're dealing with infidelity rumors.
In the tabloids.
All over the world.
It had to be tough.
David Beckham said it was incredibly difficult to see Victoria hurt.
Makes sense.
But what's interesting is that they presented a united front.
Yeah, they didn't let it break them.
He said, we're fighters. We needed to fight for each other, he said.
Okay.
We needed to fight for our family.
Wow.
And what we had was worth fighting for.
That's powerful.
It is.
They decided to work through it together.
They did.
Instead of letting the scandal tear them apart.
Exactly.
So let's step back for a minute.
Okay.
And look at their relationship history.
Okay, so they got engaged in January 1998.
After only dating for a few months.
That's what the article says.
Wow, whirlwind romance.
Yeah, then the big wedding in the summer of 1999.
At a Castlerite.
Yeah, outside of Dublin.
Huge media frenzy.
They sold the exclusive photo rights to OK Magazine.
Oh, wow, of course they did.
It was a big deal.
They were already a major celebrity couple.
Sporty and posh.
Mm.
And Victoria said it was love at first sight.
Ah.
Apparently David was so smitten, he wrote down her number multiple times, just in case he lost it.
That's kind of sweet.
And they were always out together.
Yeah, at all the big events.
The article mentions the 2008 ESPY Awards.
Right.
Always glamorous.
Always.
And of course, they started a family.
4 kids.
Brooklyn, Romeo Cruz, and Harper.
Wow, and they really seem to make family a priority.
They did. The article talks about how they were always at their kids' events.
Even with their crazy busy lives.
They made it work.
It's impressive.
And they still go on dates.
Ah.
The article mentions a date night at the Met Gala.
Oh, yeah. Fancy.
And they always celebrate their anniversary.
Cute.
And they support each other's careers.
Like when they both went to the premiere of the Beckham documentary.
Right.
That's nice to see, especially after all they've been through.
And Victoria's been pretty vocal about how strong their relationship is.
Oh, yeah.
The article quotes her as saying, "We always make time for each other as a couple and as a family.
Okay.
David and I have nothing to prove.
Hmm.
We love each other, look out for each other, and are strong as both partners and parents."
That's a pretty powerful statement.
It is.
She sounds really confident in their relationship.
She does.
Like they're in a really good place.
And David said something similar.
Oh, yeah.
He said they're a strong family unit with the right values.
So they're on the same page.
They seem to be.
And they still go to events together?
Yeah, like they were at Harry and Meghan's royal wedding.
Right, I remember that.
So the article basically sums them up as the ultimate power couple.
Yeah, that tracks.
And it mentions that Victoria said ride or die at her 50th birthday party last year.
Uh-huh, that's Victoria.
Right. So here we are with these two very different narratives.
Yeah.
Rebecca Loos is adamant that she had an affair with David Beckham.
Uh-huh.
And David and Victoria are presenting this image of a strong marriage that's weathered some serious storms.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It really is.
I mean, why are we still so interested in this story after all these years?
Right. What is it about celebrity gossip that we just can't get enough of?
Maybe it's because it feels like a real-life soap opera.
Yeah, with really high stakes.
And I think it's about more than just gossip.
Yeah, what else is it about then?
I think it's about trying to understand relationships.
Okay.
Like, how do people deal with infidelity?
Can you ever really forgive and forget? And I think it's about the power of public image.
Yeah.
Rebecca Loos and the Beckhams have both worked hard to control their narratives.
The Beckhams want to be seen as this perfect couple.
Right.
And Loos wants people to believe her side of the story.
It's interesting how their motivations seem to have changed over time.
What do you mean?
Well, in 2004, it felt like Loos wanted to hurt Beckham.
To expose him.
Yeah.
But now it's more about her feeling dismissed.
Exactly, like she wants her truth to be acknowledged.
Makes sense.
And the timing of all of this is interesting, too.
Right.
Loos gives this interview right after the Beckham documentary comes out.
Which didn't even mention her by name.
No, but it did talk about the strain on their marriage.
So maybe she felt like she had to speak up again.
It's reminding people of her story.
It's kind of a mess, isn't it?
It is. We have one person claiming an affair happened,
Yeah.
and another person denying it but admitting it caused problems in their marriage.
So who do we believe?
Right. It really makes you think about memory
How reliable is it really?
and how different people can remember the same event in completely different ways.
It's complicated.
Okay, so that was a lot.
It was.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
Rebecca Loos's claims about an affair with David Beckham,
Mm-hmm.
the Beckhams' insistence that their marriage is stronger than ever,
Right.
and the whole history of their relationship.
And all the complexities that come with being a celebrity couple.
Exactly.
It's really a story about so much more than just an alleged affair.
It is.
It's about fame and perception and how we interpret the past.
Here's something to think about.
Okay.
After all this time
Yeah.
and all these different versions of the story,
Uh,
what does this all really tell us
about the Beckhams.
about Rebecca Loos, about celebrity culture?
What's the truth?
Can we ever really know?
And how do we make sense of the past when new information comes to light?
It's definitely something to ponder.
It is.
See you next time.